Hey, good day, everybody. Hey, listen, I have been recommending a book called Fanatical Prospecting by Jeb Blount, and I am going to share something that he wrote on his blog, which is really, really quite good. I mean, it's excellent, actually, and it's titled Seven Keys to Making a Great First Impression in Sales, which is really great advice because, you know, you only have one chance to create a first impression, and how you go about doing that is critically important. So there's 7 keys to doing that, which I think are definitely something you should all process, take heed in, and implement into what you're doing. And he has a little story that kind of represents why this is a good thing, so I'll start with that. He says, at dinner this weekend, our good friend Michelle told us a story about an experience she had recently while shopping for a mattress. Now, this wasn't just any mattress. This was a high-end mattress that cost a couple of $1,000s. Prior to making the purchase, she had done extensive research online and narrowed down her focus to a few brands and styles. She found exactly what she was looking for at the first furniture store she visited, and the price was right, but she didn't make the purchase. Instead, she drove all the way across town to visit another furniture store where she met a sales rep, Gwen. There she purchased the same mattress she had seen in the other store. When I pressed her, she admitted, while trying not to look at her husband, that she paid more at the second store than the first. And I asked, why would you do that? She responded, the guy at the store, I think his name was Ray, just didn't impress me. I mean, from the first moment, there was just something about him I didn't like. So even though he had the mattress I wanted, I decided to shop around some more. Gwen, the rep at the other store, was different. Even though we had just met, I could tell she cared about me. She made me feel important. And I wrote my blog today that will be posted on Wednesday regarding that, about people skills, because your people skills, in my experience, you know, I've been training salespeople for 37 years now, and without question, the thing that hinders most people from closing transactions in my business, recruiting people, and building a sales force is just poor people skills. And it's not that they're not good people, it's they don't even know that they don't know because they've never studied what it takes to have great people skills. And so this kind of goes along with that. So make sure you read that at hectorlamarque.com. So no second chances with first impressions. Like Michelle, we all make instant judgments when we first meet people. All of us do this. Those judgments, we are both imperfect and emotional, having a lasting impact on how we view and interact with others. In Michelle's case, first impressions caused her to make the illogical decision to pay more for the same product because she liked Gwen more than she liked Ray. So all things being equal, people would much rather do business with people they like and trust. Simple as that. So if you don't know how to get people to like and trust you, no, you're going to have it's going to be a long road for you. But if you learn how to do that, and you can, there's a book that I highly recommend, and I talk about it in my blog, Skill with People by Les Giblin. You can get it at hectorlamarque.com. I have them available. You can order those. It's a fantastic little book. It takes about 20 minutes to read it, maybe, if that. And my advice would be for you to read that 21 times in 21 days and make it part of who you are, because it will, you know, if you do it, you're going to be super happy because your results with people and building a team and making, you know, closing transactions and all that will be infinitely better. All parts of your life will be better, by the way, not just your business life or your sales life, but all parts when you learn skill with people. My experience, most of you won't do it, but those of you don't, well, then you'll continue to struggle and not do as well as you could, and those of you that do are going to be very happy campers because your results are going to improve dramatically. So it says, trust me, your prospects make these same imperfect judgments about you every day. First impressions are about likability, and likability is the gateway to building emotional connections with your prospect. Emotions drive sales. They absolutely do. Emotions drive sales. People buy based on emotion, and they justify it logically after the sale. So if your prospect likes you, they'll be open to answering your questions. They'll be open to engaging in a conversation about their needs and situation, and ultimately buying from you. Unlike trust, being perceived as likable or unlikable occurs in mere moments and begins in your prospect's subconscious long before they're aware of how they feel about you at the conscious level. Ray, the rep that turned Michelle off, is the poster child for saying, You never get a second chance to make a great first impression. So, number one, be likable. The word likable is defined by the Merriam-Webster Dictionary as having qualities that bring about a favorable regard. We all, to some extent, have qualities and characteristics that make us naturally likable to certain types of people and personalities, though at the same time, we possess qualities that make us naturally unlikable to others. The problem we face in sales is we don't always get to choose the people we interact with. Many of the people we encounter will not be naturally attracted to us. Complicating things more are the preconceived notions that all people bring into relationships. These perceptions, which include but are not limited to cultural, racial, and socioeconomic biases, are also beyond our control. There was just something about Ray that Michelle didn't like. That something could be that he reminded her of a bully back in grade school, or a bad date in college, or a sales rep that broke a promise in the past. Perhaps she didn't like his facial expressions, his accent, his tie, his eye contact, his posture, or the tattoo on his wrist. The point is, there are myriad reasons a prospect may not like you, and many of the reasons, rational or irrational, are completely outside of your control. This is why when you meet new prospects, it's absolutely critical that you control those things that are within your power to control. So take control of perceptions. There are, however, important and critical actions you can take that will positively impact first impressions and likability. These actions are completely within your control, and when executed properly, help you both neutralize biases outside of your control and attract people who might not otherwise find you naturally likable. So smile. A pleasant, sincere smile is the best way to make a great first impression. The smile is a universal human language, and people are naturally attracted to people who are smiling. So be aware of your facial expression and put a smile on your face. You know, one of the things you see people, and you can tell right when people are upset, they have like a frown or a grimace on their face, or if they have a bored look on their face, or they have just an angry look on their face, or whatever, you know, you want to stay away from those people. But when people smile, it kind of just, it's an attraction thing. People want to say hello to somebody who smiles, or be around people who are smiling, because it indicates that you're friendly, that you like people, that you probably will like them. So smile. Be polite. Wow, this is just a no-brainer, but you know what? Some people aren't polite. I saw a bumper sticker once said, "Mean people suck. People who are rude, impolite, and discourteous are unlikable. Unless you were raised in a barn by animals, someone taught you basic manners. Put those manners to work in all interactions with prospects and customers. People will notice. Say thank you. Say hello. Put your hand out. Smile at them. You know, there's no place for rudeness. You know, you can see how people are. Sometimes you know, when you just first meet people and maybe you go out to a meal with them and they're just rude to the waiter. They just treat them, you know, as someone that's less than them. And man, that is the biggest turnoff ever. Whenever I'm around people like that and I see how they act with other people, especially people that are service people or people that can't help them and they're rude or impolite, that's it for me. I'm done with those people. There's no way I'm going to be, because those people are not good people. And nobody wants to be around people that are impolite. Dress. Despite the admonition, don't judge a book by its cover, people do. And they will judge you based on what you wear, what you drive, your grooming appearance. If you engage in face-to-face sales conversations, dress well. Wear the best and most professional garments you can afford. Ensure they're clean, pressed, and put you in the very best light. Pay attention to all that. You know, you don't have to wear a suit and a tie, but if you're wearing, you know, if you're a man and wear a pair of slacks, wear a nice belt, wear a decent pair of shoes that are shined, wear a nice shirt, pressed shirt that looks good. I mean, even if it's a golf shirt, it could still look good, but look sharp. You know, have your hair cut. I mean, or if you're a guy, if you're a woman, you know, just, you know, dress like, you know, you mean business. Dress like you want people to think, wow, this person's got it together. You know, it's important. You say, well, people shouldn't judge you by the way you. It doesn't matter if they shouldn't. They do. Grooming. Look your best. Ensure that you smell good. I've heard this on the radio. This what is it? Plumbing company that advertises that they guarantee that their plumbers will smell good. You know, that they'll look good and they'll smell good. You know, you don't want a smelly, sweaty person that's in your house, fixing your sink or what under your sink or whatever. You don't want them in your house. So it's the same thing, right? Ensure that you smell good, that your breath is decent, your BO, you don't have BO, and that your cologne or perfume is not overpowering. In fact, too much perfume or cologne is a turnoff. Ensure that your hair, facial hair, nails are clean cut, clipped, manicured. I have facial hair, but I keep it trimmed. If you have tattoos, cover them up. Yes, tats are more acceptable in today's society than ever before. However, they can potentially turn off buyers who don't consider them appropriate. You don't have to like that, but you know what? You want to do business? You want to close more transactions? You might want to listen to this. I choose not to buy from that sales rep because he didn't have a tattoo. No one ever said that, okay? Stay focused. In today's demanding work environment, it's easy to become distracted. I have a saying that distraction leads to your economic destruction. I've never heard anybody say that, but I know that's true. I see people in my business, they're doing great, and all of a sudden they get distracted by who knows what, right? They stop focusing on prospecting, they stop focusing on setting appointments or recruiting people. They get distracted somehow. And as soon as they get distracted, production starts to go down. And as production goes down, income goes down, and which leads to your economic destruction. So you got to be careful not to become distracted. One analogy I would use all the time. People say, look, imagine you're driving from L.A. to New York, okay, across the country. Well, what if you got off at every exit on your way there? How long would it take you to get there if you got off at, oh, look, let's get off here. Look at that. There's something here that I want to see. And you get off it would take you forever to get there. You may never get there at that rate, right? So it's the same thing when you get distracted. It's like getting off the freeway. You're on your way to someplace great, and you miss it, So don't get distracted. Jim Rohn once said, wherever you are, be there. Be present. This is essential advice when it comes to first impressions. If you're talking to somebody, be there. Don't be looking at your phone. Don't be taking phone calls. Don't be, you have to develop the self-discipline to shut everything else out and remain completely focused on your prospect. It's rude to be doing that when you're dealing with a client. They do it, that's another thing. They're not trying to sell something, but you doing it is not acceptable. Be enthusiastic. Enthusiasm for your product, service, and company sells. Enthusiasm is transferable and infectious. Your enthusiasm is driven by your attitude and belief, so it's critical to work consistently to build and retain a winning attitude. One note, though, there are a few things more off-putting than insincere enthusiasm, so be careful not to get carried away. In other words, one of the things is I was always very excited about what I do, but I wasn't jumping up and down and raising my voice. I would say the way I would do it, I'd say, one of the reasons I got involved in my business is I was so excited about being involved with my business because what we do for people is it's so profound. It makes such a big difference. It makes a really significant difference in people's lives that allows them to retire early, to get out of debt, to have more freedom and less stress in their life. And that was one of the reasons I was so excited about being involved in my business and helping people. And I'm really, I'm just as excited today as the day I got started. And I want to share this with you. I want you to see why I'm so excited. And I would say it like that. You don't have to jump up and down. You don't have to scream at them. You don't have to, pat them on the back and all that sort of thing. But be enthusiastic about what you're offering, the service or the product or the opportunity, whatever they are. Be excited. Be enthusiastic about it in a way that doesn't scare people. Be confident. Look, weak people repel. Arrogant people are turn-offs. Whoa, are they big turn-offs. Confident people attract. Confidence is driven by your self-image, your product knowledge, your attitude, your style of dress, your health, and even your spirituality. This is why even if you are an inside sales rep, it pays to dress for success. When you look good, you feel good. Your level of confidence is a direct reflection of your willingness and self-discipline to invest in yourself and to prepare. One of the things, how can I get more confident? How are you so confident? There's no shortcut to developing self-confidence. It has to do with personal development. The better you are, the better your product knowledge, the better your skills are, you're going to be more confident. One of the things I'm constantly repeating to people over and over is grow you. By growing you, you're going to grow your self-confidence. And self-confidence is attractive, folks. People want to be around people who are confident, in business with people who are confident, have friends who people are confident. They want that. Confidence is just infectious. So get prepared to be confident. The good news is making a great first impression is actually very easy if you focus completely on what is within your control, as we've just discussed. And though you never get a second chance to make a first impression, you only have to make a good first impression once to lay a solid foundation on which to build a profitable relationship with your prospect, a profitable business with your teammates.